What's up, Nord? So today I want to sit down and talk about the idea that every truth is a half-truth. Meaning, an example of this would be the law of attraction. For example, the law of attraction basically says whatever you think and focus on comes to fruition. Now, that is one half of the truth. The other part of the truth is intention. For example, you want to become a millionaire. You start thinking about, you being a millionaire, you imagine yourself being a millionaire, whatever the case may be. And then the other half of that would be the intention. That's basically a half-truth. And I ended up getting this idea from, I think it was, RSD. And essentially, I learned plenty from them. And the whole premises of this idea is basically that, whenever you get told the truth, you have to kind of look at the opposite side of that truth. Or, the other side. It doesn't necessarily have to be opposite, but the other side of the truth. For example, we have right and we have left. We have, positive and we have negative. And without there being a positive, there wouldn't be a negative. Without there being a negative, there wouldn't be a positive. It's the same thing with left and right. If there wasn't a left, there would never be a right. It would just be an eye, for example. Like, you know how you have two eyes, a left eye and a right eye. But if there wasn't a right eye, then it would just be an eye. And it wouldn't, basically our world is built off of comparison. And that's kind of how everything in the world and essentially works, if you really think about it. Like, if you're 6 feet tall, the only way you're 6 feet tall is if somebody's 5'11", 5'10", 5'9", etc., etc. Because if not, you would just be whatever, tall, quote unquote. You wouldn't be 6 feet tall because there would be no comparison to compare it to. And that's kind of how our world works when it comes to everything. Like, for example, if there's one thing I learned from economics in high school was risk. Higher risk, higher reward. Same thing with low risk, low reward. Everything just has kind of its opposite. And the biggest premises and idea that I basically wanted to come across was whenever you learn something new, you kind of want to look at the other side. Because, for example, I was doing YouTube for an entire year for over 250 days. And my intention was there. My intention was fully there. But the law of attraction side was never there. See how that works? And that was kind of my switch that I kind of had to make, because I was doing one without the other, and that's only 50 and 50 if you really think about it. Well, a truth is a half truth. If you find the other half and you put it together, then it reaches 100. And without the 100, of course, you're never gonna actually progress. And I started progressing immediately after I started, putting in the law of attraction part mentally, then putting the intention with it. Because me doing the intention for 200 days, I realized, me doing the same thing would yield the same result, and that was kind of nothing. Now, me doing what I'm doing now is yielding a lot better up results versus what I was at before, where I was kind of stagnant and wasn't moving just because my intention was there, but the other half of the spectrum was never there. And that's kind of what, the biggest switch that I had to make, and kind of what I learned within the last, 2 months of this year, almost 3 months now. Well, we're kind of technically on our third month, but yeah, the point is, always try to find the second half, whether it's, through action, whatever it may be. There's always going to be a second half, because the truth is, every truth is a half truth. And that's kind of that. You can't really necessarily argue with that. But yeah, that has been the video. If you're in this kind of video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.